Cambridge International has Business Studies Unit 1, Chapter 3, Size of Business. Chapter 3, Size of Business. The need to measure the size of a business. For comparison, for investors. Governments wish to support small businesses, so will need to measure the size. Customer preference. Problems with measuring business size. Several ways of measuring which often give different comparative results. No internationally agreed definition. Different measures of size: number of employees, revenue, total value of sales made by a business in a given time period, capital employed, the total value of all long-term finance invested in the business, market capitalization, the total value of a company's issued shares, market share, sales of the business as a proportion of total market sales. Other measures that can be used. Number of employees. Simplest measure, easy to understand, cannot be considered alone. For example, a business may require lesser employees if their work is done more through machinery. Revenue. Commonly used especially for firms in the same industry, not suitable for different industries, needed to calculate market share. Capital employed: the larger the business, the greater the value of investment required, not an absolute measure. For example, a business with more capital investment may still not be generating a lot of revenue. Market capitalization, used for businesses with shares quoted on the stock exchange companies. Market capitalization is equal to current share price multiplied total number of shares issued. As the share prices keep changing, this is not a very stable measure. For example, a temporary but sharp drop in the share price will make the company look smaller. Market share: total sales of business over total sales of industry, multiply 100. Usually, if a firm has a bigger market share, it is a leading organization in the industry it operates and is comparatively large. But if the market size is very small, it will still not be a large business. Other measures that can be used, depending on the industry, for example, number of guest beds or rooms in hotels, number of shops for retailers. Which form of measurement is the best? No best measure. Depends on the firms being compared, whether we want absolute or comparative size within one industry. The significance of small and micro businesses. Few employees, low turnover compared to other firms, important to all economies and industries in which they operate. European Union classifications of business size: business category medium, employees 51 to 250, revenue over 10 to 50 million euros, capital employed over 10 to 34 million euros. Small, employees 11 to 50, revenue over 2 to 10 million euros, capital employed over 2 to 10 million euros. Micro, 10 or fewer employees, revenue up to 2 million euros and capital employed up to 2 million euros. Benefits: job creation: one small business alone may employ lesser people, but collectively the small businesses employ a significant portion of the population. Often run by dynamic entrepreneurs with new ideas, creating variety in the consumer market and greater choice. More competition: small firms supply components or specialist goods and services to large businesses. Large firms of the future are the small firms of today. The more the business are encouraged to establish and expand, the better the chance of large organizations being there in the future. Lower costs, for example, due to inability to pay as much to their employees or workers as large firms can. Government assistance for small businesses: reduced rates of profit tax or corporation tax, loan guarantee scheme, government guarantee repayment of the loan to the bank, that is, in the case of the business fails to pay back the loan, the government will. Interest rates will higher and the firm needs to pay an insurance premium to the government as well. Information, advice and support is provided. Government finance the establishment of small businesses in economically deprived areas, for example, reasonable rent, management expertise, grants, training subsidies, marketing support, tech support. Advantages of small businesses can be managed by and controlled by owners, often able to adapt to changing customer needs, personal services offered, easier to know each other, each worker. Many people prefer working for smaller, more human businesses. If family-owned culture is informal, employees motivated, family members are performing multiple tasks. Disadvantages of small businesses: limited access to sources of finance, a lot of burden or responsibility on the owner if not able to afford specialist managers, may not be diversified, only offering one type of product or service, greater risk of survival issues for business in case trend or taste changes, fewer opportunities for economies of scale. Advantages of large businesses: specialist managers or more expertise, economies of scale, lower average cost, may be able to set lower prices, access to more sources of finance, may be diversified in several markets and products, reduced risk, likely to be able to invest in research and development for new products. Disadvantages of large businesses: difficult to manage, especially if geographically spread. Potential cost increases because of large-scale production. Slow decision-making, poor communication, often suffer from a divorce between ownership and control. Family-owned businesses are those that are actively controlled and managed by at least two members of the same family. Mostly the same family that starts the business retains complete ownership. Very important in all economies, especially developing ones. Strengths: commitment, incentive to work harder and reinvest profits to make the business grow for future generations. Reliability and pride, name and reputation of the family associated with their products, so they strive to increase quality and maintain good relationship with stakeholders. Knowledge and continuity, pass their accumulated knowledge, experience, and skills to the next generation. Family members become involved at a very young age, which increases their level of commitment. Weaknesses: succession or continuity problem. Many family businesses fail to be sustainable in the long term. High rate of failure due to lack of skills and inability of later generations to split management responsibilities or roles. Informality: little interest of the family members in setting clear and formal business practices. With expansion or growth, this can lead to inefficiencies. Traditional: reluctance to change systems and procedures, prefer continuing to operate as it was historically run. Conflict: problems within the family may make the business decisions less effective. Business growth: some businesses avoid growth so that they remain in control, avoid risk, and prevent workload from becoming too heavy. Reason why others want their businesses to grow: increased profits, increased market share, increased economies of scale, increased power and status of owners or directors, reduced risk of being a takeover target. Internal growth: business expansion, internal growth, external growth through integration, mergers, takeovers. Internal growth: expansion of businesses by means of opening new branches, shops or factories, also known as organic growth. For example, a retail business opening more shops, a bank opening more branches. Internal growth can be very slow but avoids problems of excessively fast growth, that is, inadequate capital management problems, combining two different cultures in case two business integrate. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell new video every day.